Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at your light and darker aspects that he finds attractive. So this was a requested reading by one of my beautiful subscribers. They requested to look at the shadow self he finds appealing, but I thought I'd tweak it a little bit and look at the light and shadow aspects. And the intention for this reading is to bring light and awareness and healing to our shadow and love to our shadow. Not necessarily put the shadow on a pedestal, but like I said, bring awareness to it. And sometimes, sometimes our shadow self can be more negative traits, but sometimes it can be repressed parts of ourselves that maybe we felt were unlovable or unworthy of being seen. Stuff like that may come up in this reading today. So I just want to say that. So let's get started into showing you all the piles. So for pile number 1, we have this beautiful Howlite crystal. And we have the 8 of air. For pile number 2, we have the shell. And we have the 4 of air. And for pile number 3, this gorgeous rose quartz. And we have the page of air. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to, the one that is calling out to your soul the most, and that will be your pile for today. But of course, if you're drawn to more than one pile, always trust your intuition. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose this Howlite crystal in the 8 of air, this reading is for you. We're going to be looking at your lighter and darker aspects he finds attractive. So if you didn't see the intro, I highly suggest you watch it to see what my intention was with the reading, to see how I'm going to kind of do it. So on the left side, we're going to have your lighter, more angelic aspects, and then on the right side we're going to have your shadow aspects, and then after that we may get some oracle cards and we may find out why he's attracted to both and kind of bring light and awareness and love to your shadow and light. Okay, but before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. Go to trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, it is 13:03 on the clock. So we may see some synchronicities here. Okay, so let's first use the Ethereal Visions Tarot. So this is the good tarot. So spirit guides on my pile number ones, may we please tap into the energies of their higher self, their lighter side that he finds attractive for the person on their mind. So we have the Five of Wands. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Well. We have the King of Cups. And we have the Two of Pentacles. At the back of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles. Now I'm going to be using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So spirit guides of my pile number ones, may we please look into a little bit of their shadow side that the person finds attractive, the person on their mind. So we have the Five of Air. We have the Ace of Earth. We have the Eight of Fire. We have the Three of Air. We have Perception. And we have the Queen of Air. At the back of the deck, we have the Two of Air. Okay, so my pile number ones, I feel like when I look into your energy, your shadow doesn't come through very shadowy, if I have to say it like that. Although there are some shadow aspects here, I think with the Perception card, it's giving me the impression we can look at it in a negative light or we can look at it in a positive light, just depending on the way we want to perceive it. But also it's giving me the energy here of a trait you may hold that we may see as it may influence us negatively and it may influence us positively at the same time. I'll try explain what I mean there. But I see as a whole, you are someone with a very pure soul. I mean, you chose the Howlite crystal, and even your shadow here is showing up with angel wings here. Though you do have some aspects to you that are showing up in the shadow energies, it's not dark or bad. So what I want to say here in your pile is I feel like you've integrated a lot of healing, and I feel like you've integrated a sense of wholeness within your shadow and light, where they can both exist in harmony. So that's one thing I want to say, and that your spirit guides want to say that you have integrated and gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom from both your shadow and light. And I see your higher self here with the Eight of Air, kind of like this angel up in the sky, pulling you out of any darkness, pulling you out of any stagnancy or any stuckness or any obstacles where the shadow self is holding us back, or where other people's shadows are holding us back, because we have the Five of Swords here. So I feel like maybe you've been around certain people where, let's say, you didn't necessarily see they had negative intentions towards you, where, I mean, she's blindfolded here, so maybe you didn't necessarily see what was going to happen, that there was some kind of betrayal waiting to happen here, or some kind of hurt or pain from others. So I feel like in some way, some of the shadow traits you have, if we perceive it as negative, some of them actually come from hurt and pain from other people's shadow self. I hope that makes sense. And I'm seeing it like your higher self, almost like this angel pulling you out of that. So your spirit is very protected by ancestors, and I want to say dragons, but also by ancestors, angels, your higher self, past unloved ones. You're very, very protected, and you've done a lot of healing work and integrated a lot of pieces of yourself. I'm seeing like soul fractures, soul fragments, and brought it back into wholeness and learned the wisdom from those rebirths. So, in terms of your shadow and light, it's showing up as very whole, very much in harmony with each other. Okay, I'm seeing that you have the type of personality that is coming through quite like the Cancer zodiac sign, and you don't have to be a Cancer, but I feel your person, he sees you as someone very loving. He sees you as someone very much like wanting to give love to everyone around you. He sees you as a very pure soul, very angelic in the way where even when he looks at your shadow, he sees you as someone that can do no wrong, and maybe someone that has experienced hurt and pain where you didn't quite deserve it. He sees you as someone where you're very emotionally balanced and connected and in tune with your emotions, your own emotions, in a sense where you're swimming and diving deep within that, and you're fearless with that when it comes to your emotions. You fearlessly show your love to others, and you generously show your love to others, and your love for life. I feel like you're maybe that type of person that shows a big and generous amount of love to others and to your person. And he sees you as someone that is not afraid of your own emotions. You're fearless when it comes to that. And that's the light side we see here. This bravery you have within, even though you are this gentle and sweet and compassionate soul, he sees you as also very brave on the other hand too. So there's this strength and bravery, but there's also this gentleness, this compassion, and that in itself is a strength. That is the way he's seeing you, and that's what he finds attractive about you. And I'm seeing it like you're able to easily balance the two. And you're able to go within your emotions and dive deep within that. Like I'm seeing the Little Mermaid when she dives deep into the water, like to the bottom of the ocean. And I'm seeing her like go through the things she collects, you know, how she collects a lot of things. So maybe that's you going through certain memories that you've collected over the lifetime, gaining wisdom and knowledge and integrating that, but still coming back up to the surface and, you know, learning to ride those waves, because when we see emotions as waves, sometimes they can be like very big waves, and they can almost make us feel like we're drowning in our emotions. But for you, some reason you found a way to surf on top of that. Like this is how your person sees you, like where maybe they've seen certain other people where they're afraid to feel their feelings, where they're afraid to look into their feelings and into the shadow self and into healing and gaining wisdom from that. And maybe they've also seen other people where, like, let's say they do have those emotions and feelings, but they take it out on others in a way where they hurt others, by their, not your person, but like maybe they've seen this in people where they react a certain way and that reaction hurts another person. Yet you don't do that. You're so gentle, loving, compassionate, even in times where you could unleash a little bit of that anger. With the Queen of Swords showing up in the shadow, I feel like you're someone very loving, where it's almost like too loving, if that makes sense. Not in a way where this person feels that way, but I think the type of energy here I feel is you're learning boundaries within this lifetime and you're learning to balance the energy out where you're able to speak your truth in a way that comes from the same kindness, but in a very stern and unapologetic way, where we're not in extremes of letting those emotions out when someone hurts us in a very harsh way. Maybe some of you could be very like blunt with your words if someone really upsets you or gets on your bad side. Um, but maybe some of you are almost like too loving when you speak, where like sometimes your person maybe sees you need to speak up for yourself more, but either way, that's something he finds attractive within you. However, I think when you learn to balance that within you, or if you are already learning to balance that within you and integrate that and do it in a way where it's balanced and it helps you in your life, then that is a good thing. Then we can turn that shadow trait into something positive, because you know how they say we can take our anger and create a boundary with us, because create a boundary with it because it teaches us where our boundaries are being crossed, our anger, when we can look at our emotions from a place of non-judgment and see it as not good or bad, but and not label it as good or bad, but learn from it and grow from it and understand what it's trying to communicate to us, then we can grow in our own way, in a very beautiful and harmonic way, where we're honoring both sides of us. So maybe you're learning to do that, but he could find your bluntness very attractive, or the way you're so soft spoken, or the way you're just so kind with your words, even when people don't necessarily deserve it. Another aspect I see here is I keep seeing wine, like two glasses of wine clinking each other. So I don't know if this person likes to drink with you, or something like that is coming through where it's like, I don't know, like let's have fun, let's enjoy a little bit. Um, I'm also seeing something of two swans kissing and roses. So I feel like your person he sees you as very romantic, and he sees you as a type of person that, like I said, always wants to give love to everyone. Like you wear your heart on your sleeve with the Knight of Cups, and you're a very peaceful and gentle and pure soul. Very romantic too, and very beautiful on the inside and out. Okay, and that's what I see in terms of the lighter aspects of you that he finds attractive. In terms of one of the darker aspects of you he finds attractive, where he looks at it in a different perception, is I was seeing something about like a train moving, and then I was seeing a tree with no growth on it, then the tree is growing. But now this tree is growing so much that it's a never ending cycle of this tree growing. And Spirit showed me doors amongst doors and doors and doors and doors, and it's never ending. So I feel like, on one aspect, you could be that type of person that is growing so much that it's kind of like a never ending cycle. I don't know if I see that as a shadow trait. I think I'm more on your person side of like looking at it from a different perception. But if we look at it like this, I once read something like, you're not meant to be a project to be fixed, like we aren't projects as humans to be fixed or that are broken, that need to be changed in some way because we're lovable just as we are. And sometimes when we're in the growth and healing journey, sometimes we can get a little bit stuck in that. I've noticed that within myself sometimes where we get stuck in that, or maybe not even healing, but growth within different aspects of our life, where we are chasing certain opportunities, where we're chasing that kind of result of what we want, but then like it's a never ending cycle of wanting more and wanting more and wanting more, and keeping on moving forward and keeping on being busy and moving towards that. And it can become a shadow trait when we don't necessarily sit back and appreciate what we have accumulated and where we have grown and the opportunities we have manifested within our lives. Um, and if it becomes that cycle where we're not necessarily satisfied with what we have already done. However, if you look at this in their perception, he's seeing it as attractive because it's like, yes, okay, we may see it like that, but at the end of the day, if something is a never ending growth cycle, I look at it from the perspective of that is good as long as we're able to enjoy it, appreciate our growth, learn to rest when needed with the Four of Cups, um, and not like push ourselves to the max. But then on the other hand, I see it as from their perspective, it's beautiful because it's giving you knowledge, one. Two, it's helping you grow in a way that you have some type of ambition when it comes to your growth and different aspects of your life. When it comes to getting certain opportunities, when it comes to your own healing, when it comes to different aspects of your life, whether it be your finances, your love life, your family. When it comes to these things in the growth of your life, you're very much on point. You're very much showing up for that and exceeding expectations every time. And the way this person perceives it is the way you're going to get far in life because you're so dedicated to your own journey and to your own knowledge and growth. So that's what I want to say there. And here with the wisdom codes, I mean, you can learn a lot of wisdom and knowledge in this lifetime from that. As long as we learn to balance it out with the Two of Pentacles. Another shadow aspects I want to mention here is I don't really see this as shadow aspects. I guess it just depends on the way we perceive it and if it's something that becomes negative if we like. Okay, let me try to explain this. So with the Five of Air, we see this woman taking off her mask and showing her true real face, but tears are flowing down her eyes. And this deck is completely different from the Rider-Waite. It has different card meanings and interpretations. So what I take from this is, in some way, maybe some of you could be on the one side of it where it's very hard for you to show your authentic self to the whole world. To take off the mask in front of the whole world and really show who you truly are. And on the other hand, for some of you, it's like this energy of I'm being so much in my authentic self that I don't want people to put me in a box. That like I'm being a little bit more rebellious, and it's like, don't put me in a box. Don't try to make me something I'm not. You know, respect that I want to be my authentic self, but I don't really see that as dark or shadowy, but it's like, I guess if it becomes unbalanced and where, I don't know how to describe this. Spirit, please help me. I'm feeling like lost in these words. I don't know how to describe it. Okay, so Spirit is showing me an example of person A, and they are so much within their authentic self. They, love sharing that with others, but they also allow others to be themselves and they show their true personality with those around them. Okay, and then we have person B, who is very scared to show their authentic self to those around them, even those closest to them, because maybe it comes from a certain fear of being judged or being criticized or not being liked for who they are. And then it's very hard for them to create those deeper connections, even deeper long term connections, because it's like I'm not necessarily expressing what I want to express and who I truly am. And then we have person C that does it so much where the people around them can't necessarily show themselves. So I guess it would be the way we perceive it, like whether it's balanced or not. But I feel like your pile, I don't feel like it's unbalanced within you. Also, another aspect I see here, I keep feeling the throat chakra energies, Queen of Swords energy we spoke about earlier. But also, since we have an angel here on the shadow side, I'm kind of getting this vibe of maybe a shadow aspect here could be like that thing of, okay, I have to be the better person. I have to um I have to be the better person. I have to be the more loving person. I have to be, this pure soul. Maybe in times where your anger is warranted or the situation and the reaction is warranted, where you are allowed to act that way. So for example, um let's say a friend does something to you and it's so harsh and mean, and in that moment you're like talking to another friend and you're like, should I be the bigger person or should I, be blunt and tell them what's on my mind? Um, and then maybe we choose to be the bigger person, but maybe in that situation, our anger is warranted and it's like expressing that side of us. Does that make sense? But the way your person is perceiving it is, it's not necessarily shadowy because, or it could be, but it's not necessarily such a harmful thing because it just shows you're a good person and you care about others, even if they don't necessarily deserve your care or deserve you being a better person or the bigger person. 1331 on the clock. Though, what I will say is we can balance it in a way where we're also honoring our own emotions and, like I said, not labeling them as good or bad, but just allowing ourselves to feel and release them. A light aspect I see here is um, you're almost able to pull people out of the dark. You're almost able to pull people out of stuckness, like this kind of earth angel energy. And I feel like some of you are very intuitive. You just know what to give to a person, exactly what to give to a person, exactly what's needed. You may also be considered that type of person that is good at mediating arguments or fights, or good at bringing love back to a situation that has turned nasty or, vengeful. And another light aspect I see here is just how much peace you bring in the world. Your person is almost like comparing you to bringing a sense of paradise or heaven to earth, balancing the scales in a sense where it's almost like I'm being taken to. There's a card in the One Divine Feminine Oracle deck where she turned hell into heaven. And that's kind of like how your person sees you, where you can take any situation that is negative and turn it heavenly and turn it into sort of like a paradise and turn it into something deeply emotional and deeply spiritual and just very full of deep love. and completely change the energies and bring it back into balance. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting there. So let me pull some cards, some oracle cards. And since we have the Two of Swords at the back of the deck, what I'm taking from that is, you know, with the perception card, the way we perceive it, it can be dark and it can be light on both sides. Even like mediating arguments, that can be considered a shadow aspect if we do it too much in a way where we're stuck in the middle of fights, too much where it harms our mental health. You know what I mean? It depends on the choice and how much we do it and how it's balanced with other things in our life. I hope that makes sense. I'm also seeing the solar plexus energy and you healing your self-worth. So maybe certain shadow traits link back to a feeling of self-worth. And there's something about you that really takes your person's breath away. So, Spirit Guides of Pile 1, can we end off with one light aspects he finds attractive? Surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. So this is the Starseed Oracle. We have fall into my arms with surrender, holding the opposites and extremes of life. So like I said, your shadow and light is very balanced and whole, as long as we're not too much in one extreme. I think that's a good way of describing it. Then it's balanced and it's integrated and it's healthy. Okay. Now we're gonna get one card from the Shadows and Lights Oracle. So Spirit Guides of Pile 1, can we have one card to end off their shadow self that he finds attractive? So we have Angel de los Muertos transitions to the spirit realm. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. If not, please correct me. We have Mildew Fairy at the back of the deck with cleanup time. So here we even have an angel. This leads back to, well, I don't know the story behind this, but I don't know it fully in depth, but I know she helps people transition to the spirit realm and after they pass on. So you could be very much like in your spiritual and divine purpose in some way, or you could be that type of person, like I said, that can kind of like turn something that may look like hell into heaven. And you can be that type of person that helps others clean up their life and helps others kind of like, what do I mean by clean up their life? So for example, we spoke about bluntness. Like let's say, going back to that example of a friend doing something really harsh or horrible to you, and you speak your truth and you go ham on that person. And maybe in that sense, if we look at it from a different perspective, maybe that person needed to be called out to change their behavior. You know what I mean? And then this person kind of finds that sexy. And there's this feeling here with this card. Even if you have certain shadow traits, you're able to bring it to the surface and let it transition to the light. Because I'm thinking of, how when people pass on and then they go to the light, it's like I'm almost imagining your shadow. You see it, you understand it, you heal it, you send it love, you send it compassion, and then you let it go to the light and transition to be transmuted. So I feel like in some way your shadow energies are being transmuted, and in the light energies here we have surrender to the sweetness. So this is the side of you he finds attractive, where you're very sweet, where you're very much that beautiful soul inside and out, regardless of your gender, and you're just so much, it's so much pleasure to be around you, it's so much joy to be around you, and you're just a very loving person overall, and that's what he finds attractive, where it really feels sweet to be around you. So last card is going to be why he finds all of this attractive. Okay, so we have the enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. So, the way your person sees you, at the back of the deck, we have the Warrior of Light with Joan of Arc. You have this warrioress energy where even if you go through challenging aspects within your growth journey, within your healing journey, you're so powerful where you're able to look deep into that, as we spoke about looking deep into your emotions in the beginning, not be fearful of it, but find enlightenment and find wisdom from it, and listen to your gut instinct on how to transmute that energy and send love to it, and allow your intuition to guide you as you reach a stage of enlightenment and as you reach the stage of growth within your own journey. So, this is what I have for you, Pal 1. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my Pal number 2s. If you chose the Shell and the Four of Air, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at your light and darker aspects he finds attractive. So my intention with this reading is to more so look at the light and the shadow, to bring it into balance, wholeness, send love, compassion, healing to it, understand it better and deeper, okay, and see, what his perspective of it is for the person on your mind. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. But before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. Go to trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, on the left side, we're going to have your light aspects, and on the right side, we're going to have your darker aspects. And then after that, okay, we're going to use tarot first. Then after that, we're going to get some oracle cards and find out why he's attracted to these traits. So let's get started. So we're going to start out with your light traits with the Ethereal Visions Tarot. So spirit guides of my pile number 2s. Spirit guides of my pile number 2s, may we please tap into the energies of their highest self and their lighter aspects that he finds attractive. So we have the Devil in reverse. So keep in mind these are light aspects. We have the Moon. I think I understand already. We have the Well. Keep seeing the Justice scales in this pile. We have the Two of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Six of Cups. Okay, and then now for your other side, we're going to use the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So now may we please tap into their darker aspects that he finds attractive of the person on their mind. So we have the Six of Fire. Some of you may relate to pile 1. We have the Two of Water. We have the Ace of Water. There's similarities within pile 2 and pile 1. We have the Hero. We have the Five of Water. And we have the Two of Fire. Okay, so what I want to say here in your light and shadow aspects, I think your person sees you very much as mostly lighter aspects. I don't think he sees a lot of dark aspects within you, because even on the dark side, we have a lot of loving and beautiful cards. And I mean, we have the Devil in reverse on the light side. So this is letting me know, like, this person sees you as someone that could never act in a shadowy way or act out of your shadow self. Even if you have that within, you don't act out of it and you don't put that pain onto others, because the Moon is showing up, because you feel so much and you feel so deeply for others. And you maybe know what it's like to be hurt like that you wouldn't want to do that to others. So that's what I'm really getting here. I keep seeing the Justice scales in your pile. And you know how in Egypt they say that you weigh the heart with a feather after a person passes away to see if they are balanced in that sense. I feel like if you had to weigh your heart, it's almost like this person is seeing your heart as very good, where you would pass that. I don't know the full story, so I don't know it to be exact. But if you know more about that, let me know down in the comments, please. And I'm also seeing two feathers that you write with like a pen, but they're facing both ways. So I take that as shadow and light, like we have two choices. And with the two choices we make, depending on the choice we make and the intention behind that choice, is how we write the book of our story of our life. Let me try explain what I see here, because it's very complex and I don't even fully understand what Spirit showed me. So Spirit made me hear like that song that's like, Santa Claus is coming to town. And you know how there's like a naughty list, there's a good list. And Spirit was showing me The Good Place, the series. And if you've watched that, you will understand what I mean. But sometimes you'll see, like in those movies or those TV shows, where like a person does good deeds, and like in that series maybe they don't go to heaven. or something because they did this, and it was like it was not intended to be bad, but it harmed someone. It's like spirit is almost showing me that, and it's not saying that's true, but showing me that as an example, and how we're often raised to be good and not to make bad choices and not to do this and all of that. Just bear with me as I try to explain this. But what spirit was showing me was the intention behind the choice matters too, not just the choice we make. Because if we had to look at our Akashic records and the amount of lives we've lived, there would be a long list of good deeds and maybe bad deeds we've made. So it's very complex to say, okay, this is our shadow self, this is our light side. Because, maybe in one life we could have done something good, in another life we could have done something bad. Does that mean we deserve karma forever? I don't know. I don't know how the whole thing works, but like, Spirit is showing me it's very complex to just say, oh, like this person is bad because of this, or this person is good because of this. Where the good deeds, yes, they matter, but Spirit, help me explain this. Spirit is showing me what matters is balance. Like they keep showing me the justice scales. What matters truly is balance, and if our heart is in the right place, and if our intentions are in the right place. And yes, that choice we make can have bad consequences, even if our intentions are in a good place. And yes, sometimes certain people make bad choices, but their intention behind it is good. So Spirit weighs out the options differently than the way we may judge it or see it. And the way Spirit was showing it is karma and all these things is very complex. We need a lot of knowledge to be able to understand it, because even I don't understand it. And like, we can't judge anyone for choices they make, because if one person shoots a bird to eat it because they don't have food and another person shoots it just for fun, those are two of the same actions but two very different intentions behind it. And it's like the universe, God, the higher power, whatever you believe in, knows and sees our hearts and the intention behind that. So I don't know why Spirit is showing me this, but it's almost like Spirit is saying we can't judge anyone for a part of their shadow or a part of what their choices were, because we don't know the intention behind that choice. So I don't know if it's something that was maybe needed to hear for this pile. Why is this being shown to me, Spirit? So Spirit is showing me knowledge and two doors, and like this type of feeling of we always have a choice to enter the door we want of our reality. Okay, so I see it like this person sees you as someone that does mostly always choose the good door, the quote unquote good door, if that makes sense. And your person always sees you as someone that does end up choosing the road of love, even in times where maybe it, like pile number one, it was warranted for you to act out in a way where you chose love instead. I'm seeing something like that in your shadow here. So it's almost like your person sees you as someone where even if you perceive yourself to have made certain bad choices in your life, it's like your person can see the reason why you made that choice and can see it in a very complex way where they understand why you did that. Or for a lot of you, I'm getting here, your person could see you as this type of person where most of the time you did end up choosing the side of love, choosing to be a better person and to grow into a better person. And what I'm really getting here is your person has seen you been backstabbed. Your person has seen you been betrayed, hurt by, people you loved with the Ten of Swords. That's what I'm getting here. And, disappointment here with the Five of Cups, you've maybe had certain people in your past do that to you, where they betrayed you, or where they stabbed you in the back, or where they acted out towards you in a way where you didn't deserve it. And maybe in some way your person sees you in your light aspect as someone that has had that happen to you, where you wouldn't want to do that to others because you know the pain behind that feeling very deeply. And also because you feel for people so deeply, you feel like a very compassionate and loving person. And when I look into your shadow side, it's like, I think in some way, it's almost like your shadow self tries to give love to others because one part of you that was wounded, because when we look at our shadow self is not dark. It's just the wounded part of ourselves that gets distorted in some way because of the pain and the hurt and the anger and all those things. But I'm seeing it almost like your shadow self is choosing to love people maybe in the way you never were loved. Because it's like that's the part of your wounded self that wanted to be loved that way, but instead there was a choice made where you weren't receiving that, and you felt very disappointed and heartbroken several times for some of you, I hear, where it's like that part of your shadow is now taking it where you're giving that love to others because you know how it feels to not get that. But the reason why it's showing up as a shadow trait here is because it's almost like your shadow self has taken it where they want to give that love to everyone else outside of them. And maybe for some of you, it's like your shadow self perceives it as, if I give more love, I will receive love. Or if I give more love, it's almost like I can heal people and save people with the hero here from going through pain and hurt. But then in some way it is showing up as a shadow because it's meant to be turned inwards. Spirit is describing it almost like we have to save ourselves first before we can save others. Just like when we're on a plane and that plane is about to come crashing down, before we can put that air mask on our kid, we have to put it on ourselves first. We have to save ourselves to save those around us. So I see the shadow area here of maybe like this feeling of giving others love instead of giving it to ourselves, and trying to, save others as well because you've been hurt and like, I wanted to say the word broken, but I stopped myself because you're not broken. I'm almost seeing you as a starfish, right? And the starfish's leg can be cut off, but it will always grow back. So I'm seeing it as you save yourself first, you heal yourself first, you turn that love inward, and I feel that's what a lot of you've been doing. You've been going on a self-love journey, and then it integrates and balances out the shadow trait and brings it into harmony and balance with your light aspects, where you're able to give that love to others without expecting anything in return and without trying to save anyone, but also giving it generously, but also pouring that love back into you first too, and like honoring yourself too, and not beating yourself up about certain choices you made in the past where maybe you needed to make that choice. So that's something I see here with the Two of Fire. Like, for example, going back to that example I gave of someone shooting a bird to eat it, Spirit doesn't see it as bad because the intention behind it is food. So if you did certain things in your younger years, like where you didn't know any better, I see maybe giving yourself forgiveness for that because maybe you needed to do that at the time to survive. An example is what we see here. Like maybe you had to give other people love growing up before you could yourself. Like maybe some of you grew up in families where you always had to extend yourself to others before you could to yourself. That's possible for some of you. And in some way, you had to do that to survive. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Maybe some of you also grew up in families where, or places, or something that was very chaotic, very much full of conflict, where you're sort of like in the shadow trait of being the mediator, being someone that brings others together after conflict. And the reason why it's showing up as a shadow trait is because sometimes we can be caught in the middle of other people's drama. Okay, so those are the shadow traits I see. In terms of the light traits, it's like your person sees you as someone, like I said, very loving. And I mean, that literally showed up in your shadow. So I don't feel like your shadow is very shadowy, it's very loving, which is funny to see. But it's like, in terms of your light aspects, you're showing up as someone very compassionate, very deeply in tune with your emotions and your intuition, and you feel for others. You're very empathetic. You feel things very deeply. And I feel like you have a very big heart. You want to bring peace to those around you with the Four of Air. You're someone that really stands out, but you're also humble at the same time, where even if people compliment you or try to show you how much you stand out, you may not fully receive it, or you may not fully see what they see, but it's like your person sees it as you're humble in that sense, but you also stand out in a way. And your person sees you as someone where even if you have been hurt, you don't wish others negativity, and you try to become a better person, and you try to be a more loving person and try to be that love for others in the world where there isn't much. Well, there is love in the world, but the world is full of duality. So it's like you're almost trying to be that light in the world to others that have lost a sense of hope or a sense of light at the end of the tunnel. And your person sees you as someone very in tune with your emotions, but also emotionally balanced in a way where maybe they've seen other people have volatile emotions and take that out on others and have conflict towards others, whereas you don't. Some of you, like, one thing I will say is like maybe some of you do avoid conflict, but it's like your person sees it as a good thing. It can become a negative thing if it's not balanced, but your person sees it as a good thing because you seek peace and harmony. But I think with the justice scales, it requires balance and it requires harmony. And in order to do that, we need to speak up for ourselves in times where it is warranted. And it's like your person just sees you as a overall very loving, emotional, empathetic, intuitive person where you feel for others, even non-sentient beings. Um I'm almost being taken back to a memory where I was lying on the grass and I don't know, I was very emotional that day, and I was like, I don't want to leave the grass because I don't want it to feel lonely. And the friend I had at the time was like, what is grass? How's it gonna feel lonely? But it's like maybe you're like that. I'm being taken back to that memory specifically in this reading, where maybe you really care for animals, maybe you really care for humans, maybe you really care for, the trees, the plants, the flowers, things like that. The earth in general, where you care for humans and people and things, animals that are going through pain. Like, you can't see that. You're just very empathetic, where you know what it's like to feel that hurt and pain, even if you're not in it. Your person almost sees your light side as someone super empathetic, where maybe even if you watch a movie and you see someone else going through pain, you might cry because You just feel so deeply for that person or that animal or that thing. And since you chose the shell, I feel like your person sees you as someone that has a very cleansing and healing energy where you can cleanse even what I'm being taken to is like even certain people where they're more in their shadow self. Maybe I'm not saying they're a bad person, but like let's say certain people where they're more accustomed to their shadow self, it's like you can even turn them to love. That's how your person sees you. So let's pull your oracle cards and see why your person finds this attractive. So let's start out with the side using the shadows and lights oracle. So, why they find the shadow attractive, anything else? We have carnivorous flower fairy, where a tempting offer has a high price. Now we're going to use the starseed oracle. Why they find this attractive, the lighter aspects. We have your not for everyone, embrace your weirdness, face your true north. And in the middle, why they find all these traits as a whole attractive. The person on their mind. We have the warrior of light with I have a steel-like faith in myself, the angels armor me with conviction. Okay, so your person sees you as a very loving person, sees your love as so abundant. And it's almost like you are just such an empathetic and beautiful person inside and out. And not everyone is going to understand that. Not everyone is going to understand you fully. But you are yourself in the world, and that's something this person likes. This person likes the fact that you're just being yourself. And all this love is an amazing strength because it takes a lot of strength to be compassionate, even in situations where we have a right to be angry at the person. And you can be angry, you can honor that emotion. But it's like it takes a lot of strength to do that, and it takes a lot of strength to have those deep emotions. And anger is part of an emotion, but you still don't take it out on people. That takes a lot of self-control, that takes strength. Things like that. It takes strength to be compassionate and to be empathetic to others and to feel so deeply. It takes a lot of strength and bravery and courage, and this is why your person is attracted to it. But I will say, as a warning, in some way, your person does find the shadow traits attractive because in some way it does benefit them. So what I will say is to just be very careful if you're asking about a person. This may not resonate for everyone, but for some of you, like if you're asking about a person from your past or a person that has hurt you or betrayed you, where they almost view it like I can always come back because pile 2 is so forgiving. I can always come back and I can do anything and they're not going to care. If I hurt them, they're not going to care. They're still going to forgive me. That's how I see this card, because Carnivorous Flower Fairy is someone that when you get too close, you don't realize that they're going to bite you because it's a carnivorous flower, and you see this beautiful girl, but you don't realize that she is a tempting offer. And it's not like saying that for everyone here watching, but I will say sometimes people can be attracted to our empathy if it benefits them in a way where it makes us, how do I put this in words? Like, let's say we're not having boundaries and we're like, oh, it's okay. They could like that trait because it benefits them, because then they don't have to take accountability or actually do the work on themselves to change. So I just say be very careful of that pile 2 if you do fall under that energy. But for others of you, if we had to read this in a different way, maybe it could be tempting to go the other way. And maybe it could be tempting to be a little petty sometimes, or to to make the wrong choices sometimes, but it's like you have a lot of self-control and you choose love anyways. And that's why this person finds this attractive, because that takes a lot of strength to choose good things, I guess. So this is what I see for you, pile number 1. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number 3s. If you chose this rose quartz crystal in the page of air, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at your light and darker aspects he finds attractive. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. My intention with this reading is to take a look at our light and our shadows, to bring it into wholeness, into harmony, heal it, accept it, send it love. And maybe even understand why it could be seen as something attractive, where sometimes we'll think, oh, I can't show this side of myself, but maybe someone would see that as attractive. Okay, so we're going to be using on the left side the lighter aspects, on the right side the darker aspects of you. Then after that, well, we're using tarot cards for that. Then after that, we're going to use the oracle cards where we see why he's attracted to that. But before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. Go to trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, I saw the angel numbers 222 and 333. And I'm hearing sirens outside. So spirit guides on my pile number 3s. Spirit guides on my pile number 3s. Can we please tap into their lighter aspects, their highest self? Those lighter aspects that the person on their mind finds attractive. So we have Knight of Pentacles showing up first. We have the Moon. Interesting. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune. At the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. Now we're using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot for the other side. So can we please tap into their darker qualities he finds attractive for the person on their mind for pile 3. So we have the Three of Water. We have the Seven of Water. We have the Self. And this wanted to like fall on the Wheel of Fortune. So those two cards are connected. We have the Seven of Earth. Okay, so this card I just need to cover up. We have Integrity. One more card. We have the King of Fire. And at the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Earth. Okay, so within this pile, I kept seeing pets and cats. Like, there was a cat hair on my crystal or dog hair, but I don't even have dogs or cats in my place, so it was just very weird. I don't know if you have pets or if you just love animals, or if you're just that type of person that cares for all beings, like pile number 2, in the sense where you care for all beings on the earth, like animals, the earth, the plants, the water, um, the environment we live in on earth, if that makes sense. And people and humans in general, even if you don't know them necessarily, like you feel for them. And that's kind of what I'm getting here of like what this person sees in your lighter aspects. I'm seeing this person see you as someone very open with your love. You're very free spirited, and that's a light aspect he sees within you that he's very attracted to. I see him seeing you be very open, loving, truthful, honest, and kind of like very compassionate and very deep, very intuitive too, in the sense where you may love to just give love everywhere you go. And this person sees you as someone that has pure intentions. When you really give your heart or your love to someone, it comes with pure intentions. Your person sees you in your light aspects and traits as very curious, very much like you love to talk and have conversations, and they find the conversations pretty interesting. In the light aspects, this person sees you as maybe someone that has not necessarily had the things you needed with the Five of Pentacles. Maybe it was emotional, maybe it was physical, maybe it was financial. I don't know what it was, but you still push forward and move forward with determination to put yourself out there and get the things you wanted in life, go towards your purpose and change things within your life, and even create a purpose within your own life where maybe there wasn't any. So this person sees you as you've gone through that hurt and pain and maybe even loss or never had everything you wanted or needed, but you rebirth through the pain, since we have the 2 lotus flowers and the Ace of Cups. And I'm seeing it like you returned back home to yourself and gave yourself that love inwards, reparented that inner child version of you or that wounded version of you that needed that love, um, by nurturing it, okay? By giving that wounded part of ourselves that needed something, that never had it exactly what they need in this moment. And that's how your person is seeing you in your loving aspects right now, in your, I wanted to say light aspects, your loving aspects. So they see you as very loving in your light aspects, very compassionate, very empathetic, very deep. And emotionally intelligent is what I'm hearing. You're also very consistent when it comes to the people in your life. You're very careful who you allow into your life and into your circle. But once people are in your circle, you give them so much love very generously. Um, and you don't expect it in return, is what I'm getting here. And you're very consistent with that. You're not someone that constantly changes up that. Um, I'm feeling the throat chakra energies, and you may be learning to speak up for yourself more. We'll get into that in a moment. Um, but I also feel there's this determination and consistency when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your endeavors and the successes you want and how you want to change the reality around you. And this is how your person sees you in your light aspects. If I try to go through the reading, it's because my battery's like almost flat, so I have to try give the information I see quickly. Sorry about that, pile 3. But with the 3 of water here in the shadow side, 7 of water, integrity, self, 7 of earth, king of fire. What am I getting here? Okay, so I feel the environment you grew up in, it's like your person sees you as very different from the people you grew up with. You could have been a black sheep for some of you growing up. You could have grown to integrate certain parts of your shadow where maybe they called you weird or they called you, they just, I'm seeing for some of you like they called you mean things either in your school environment or um, in your home environment where they made you feel almost outcasted for being different and unique. And I'm seeing that's one trait within your shadow self you have already integrated and brought to wholeness, or you are beginning to. Um, and this feeling of like, I'm worthy to be seen as who I am and myself. And me being me is not a bad thing. If they don't like me for me being me, then there's the door. But it's like, okay, I'm not joking around here, but it's like it's almost like this person sees it in the shadow side because it's like you were never really accepted for it, so maybe you were somehow subconsciously made to feel bad for being yourself, and maybe that sometimes still lingers on, that feeling like I can't open up, I can't be myself, I can't show my true self to people because then it brings this negativity. But with the 2 dragons next to her and the 3 doves, I see this as, your person seeing the self, this true self version of you as divine, and it is meant to be seen by others because the right people are going to see it and love it. Whereas if people bring negativity into it, then they have not grown, then they are not deserving to be around you. And with the 2 dragons next to you, I see it as you taking back your power by integrating your whole self and allowing your true self to be seen, for your uniqueness to be seen by the world and truly appreciated and admired by those that do appreciate and love it. Because the way this person sees it, they're attracted to it because you're very unique. They like that about you. Whereas maybe that's something you may have repressed or pushed down or made yourself feel bad to show that. But I feel here, I almost feel with the blue roses, it's like, I don't know if this is logically correct, but I almost get this intuitive feeling like these blue roses are for a funeral, and this funeral is letting go of the things people have said to us and setting it free and not speaking that to ourselves or not believing that. I don't think blue flowers are used for funerals, but I almost get that in a intuitive sense. Maybe they are, I don't know. And with the butterfly here, and the Seven of Pentacles, I kind of get this feeling of like this person viewing you in your shadow self, where you may sometimes really grow and transform to the max, where it's a passion of yours, and I don't view it as negative. This also came up in one of the other piles, where okay, it can become negative if we view ourselves as like not worthy of love right now and who we are, and we almost chase growth, or we chase success, or we chase growth in certain aspects of life, or transformation, or changing things in certain aspects of life for us to not just better ourselves but to change it because we don't like it. Then it can become negative and hinder us in a way rather than actually help us. But in some way, if it's balanced and we use it to the best of our abilities, where maybe it's seen as a shadow trait because maybe why is it seen as a shadow trait? Okay, so since both of their eyes are closed, I'm getting if we're not aware of it, it can hinder us rather than help us grow. If we use it in a way where it becomes excessive, where we don't believe we're worthy of love right now, where we're not satisfied with our reality right now, and we always want to change ourselves or our reality, to chase after something and never enjoy and feel fulfilled from what we've already grown within ourselves, and how we've already transformed and how we've changed our own reality. But if we are aware of it and we change it into a positive, where we're like, this can also be seen as something good because it can help us get further along in life. Not that we're looking at it as a competition, but it's like your person sees it as you can get further in life because of this determination. And they're attracted to this part of you because you're constantly transforming and evolving in a way where it is reaching, as you do this internal digging within yourself, it is reaching your true self. And as you reach your true self, you start to reach your purpose, and you start to know who you are, and you start to know what it is you want to share in the world when it comes to your gifts and talents, and who you want to be in the world, and who you want to show up in the world, and what you want to give to the world, and the purpose you want to create for yourself. With the King of Fire, this person sees you as very passionate in a way, where I'm always getting the feeling, and remember this take it as it resonates, because not everything will resonate with everyone, but I'm almost getting this feeling of like so much passion that we can kind of get possessive over people or the things we have because we have so much passion for it. So like example, with the person you love, maybe you're like so loving over them that there's like a possessiveness here in the shadow trait. Or maybe it's like, I'm so passionate about this thing, it can only be mine. So spirit is showing me, what's her name again? I'm trying to think of her name. Is it Charlie D'Amelio, when she had her and her sister, and then was something like where her sister started to make music or something like that, and then she made music, and then her sister got jealous. I don't know the whole story, like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm kind of like seeing that clairvoyantly, and it's like, okay, if I like this, no one else can like this. Or that may not resonate for everyone, but for some, King of Fire I can also see is so passionate, where it can lead to maybe like a quick temper sometimes for some, not all, or being like very impulsive sometimes, where we just like go in head first. That's what I'm getting for some of you. Or for some of us, where we're too bold, where we can take a risk, where it's too much of a risk. Um, that's what I'm getting here. But that might not resonate with everyone. But it's not seen as bad. Remember, we can integrate this in a way where we find wholeness and balance within it. So, they could find, if you get jealous or possessive, attractive. They could find it attractive that you're bold and you take risks, but I think in order to balance it, because I was seeing a crocodile um, hidden in the closet. And if we don't see this crocodile when we walk into the closet, it can hurt us. So I think what Spirit is trying to describe here is these traits are not bad, but it's something to be aware of so that we can balance the energies out, send love and compassion to it, and find harmony within both the shadow and light by balancing the energy out. So I see it as if we become aware of it, we can understand it and we can grow from it. There's also something about sensuality here with integrity. What am I getting here? So I don't really see this as a shadow trait because we all have sensuality within us. Why is it showing up as a shadow trait, Spirit? Okay, so Spirit is showing me for some of you, it may not resonate for all, but it was like we're giving it out freely, and there's nothing wrong with that if it's done in a healthy way and we're safe and it's not coming from a trauma response and it's something we feel empowered in doing. But I'm almost getting this energy here as someone that understands it, that has gone through trauma of hypersexuality, for some, or the opposite where we're not showing it, where we're very modest. And it's not to say, I want to be very careful the way I word it because I don't see it as a bad thing. We're all sensual beings and we deserve to feel pleasure within that and empowerment within that. But it's like if it feels we're giving it out and it feels we're kind of like being used for it, or if it feels like we have to give it out, or if it feels like almost shameful, then it can feel a little bit disempowering. And sometimes maybe we want to open that side of ourselves up, but there's like shame there where we can't. So it can go on either side of the spectrum here. But what I'm feeling here with integrity, you do have integrity, and I feel like you're loyal to your person if you two are dating in that sense, where maybe a lot of you are monogamous in that sense, because I was seeing two swans kissing. And when I think of swans, I think of monogamy. So, and loyalty. So I feel like a lot of you share that more potent, sensual side you have with your person, because you may have a lot of that within you, a lot of that passion within you. And if you can share it in a healthy way where you feel safe and where you feel loved and where you can let that side of you out, then it's like your person sees it as a good thing. What I'm also getting here is maybe like the feeling of like wanting to be liked by everyone or wanting to be friends with everyone, or something along those lines, as I spoke about before, like with the self, it ties into that message. And I'm seeing something here about like chasing after many opportunities, maybe chasing after money, chasing after material things to fulfill us. It can go into a shadow trait if we're chasing after it, as I said before. Or sometimes being like with passion here in the Seven of Cups, it's kind of like maybe being so multi-passionate that we don't necessarily get anything started off the ground. So these are shadow traits. I want to understand why this is seen as something this person's attracted to. I'm also seeing something about an abandonment wound for some of you, because I'm seeing the two swans kiss and then be pulled away from each other. And I feel like maybe the reason why this is coming up for some of you is because I'm seeing you as a deer and you're so gentle, you're so sweet. And even your shadow traits aren't bad. They're maybe just repressed parts of you or parts of you that are going to be healed or integrated, but it's not negative or bad. It's like this person sees you as this very sweet, gentle person that deserves all the love in the world. And it's like, oh no, like who could have done that to you? Who could have hurt you? Who could have abandoned you? And it's like I'm going to treat you better, and I'm going to, I don't know, like I'm hearing baby the whole time. That song by Justin Bieber, baby, baby, baby. um it's kind of like I want to treat you differently than how you were treated before. And why do they find that attractive? In some way, they know because you felt the wound of abandonment for some of you, you would never abandon them. Maybe they also have an abandonment wound. Um, and it's like you're loyal to the end, unless something was to happen where they would be like a bad partner to you, but you're loyal, you know, and and it's like this person sees you as you would never abandon them because you know what it feels like. And then in terms of the other traits and aspects, they get to share that sensuality with you in a healthy way where you feel safe. They get to share their unique personality traits with you because maybe they also feel similar in the sense where they see a lot of themselves in you, and they feel like in at certain times they couldn't necessarily show their true selves to the world, but when it comes to you two together, we can share that together and grow together and reach higher heights together and reach our goals together and, you know, succeed together. This is why this person's attracted to these quote unquote shadow traits. Okay, so let's get one card from Shadows and Light. And and also I think with the moon, I keep seeing the third eye, and like sometimes maybe we can be searching so much for answers, but the answers are already within us, like in tarot readings and things like that. Maybe I can relate to that a little bit. So why are they attracted to these shadow traits, please? So we have faceless ghosts and the haunted people with ghost people, card 34. And at the back of the deck, we have a clockwork pumpkin, a wonderful idea, the aha moment. For some of you, I feel like your person, he has a similar, um, he has felt similar pains to you that cause these shadow traits. Maybe that's why he's noticed them within you and finds that attractive. For others of you, it's like, oh, I get why pile number 3 is like this because this happened to them. And it's like they can understand where it comes from, but they find it attractive because it's like they also see the other side of it with the Wheel of Fortune, where we can change it around and make it into something good if we feel empowered within that. I still feel the throat chakra energy, so something about speaking up for ourselves is coming up too, in an empowered way where we feel like we can really stick up for ourselves and set boundaries. I think that's something you're currently integrating since it's not showing up in the cards. But with Faceless Ghosts and the Haunted Girl, it's like your person sees you as very powerful in the sense where maybe you don't see why people treated you this way, because it's like, um, you know, these ghost people talk about, it talks about people that are feeding off of her brightness. And you may be that bright person where people may have fed off that unintentionally, where they try to put you down or dim your light. So we have the golden children with inner child tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. So it's like this person sees your inner child and sees them as innocent and sees them as the most loving, where you didn't deserve this, and they don't see it as negative. We have the goddess of magic with sexual energy sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. So with goddess of magic, I get this vibe of taking this and magically making it into something else, magically making it into something better, alchemizing the energy, healing your inner child, and seeing your sensual energy as sacred. So this is what I have for you, pile 3. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Bye!